Did you just see his smile? Did you just see how he looked when the game started? Man, he's confident. He definitely has an ace up his sleeve. I want to know what he's going to do here. At the bottom right of Ohana, we have our Protoss player in the yellow starting for the Slayers team. It is...
Slayers! Cranker!
Ready to crank it up here, and he has to bring his A game if he wants to defeat Life. This is not going to be an easy task. Life showed impressive games yesterday. Today he's starting at the top left. In the blue we have our ZeNEX player. ZeNEX player called...
ZeNEX! Lifer!
After the performance yesterday, definitely the superstar on the team.
Absolutely. I mean, at least until someone else proves otherwise, you know? Like, we haven't even seen anything yet. And, I mean, if he pulls off another alt kill today,
I don't know. That can't happen.
It can't be, man.
But if it was the case, it would be like, what?
Yeah, that's exactly what it would be like. Oh, look at this! Hatch block at the natural. And I'm not talking about a pylon block that you're about to see. I'm talking about at the natural of Slayer's Crank. We have a hatchery.
He's pulling a Yu-Gi-Oh here.
He is. He has shown nothing but innovation, unique strategies. Nothing about this player is normal, Kaldor.
On the other hand, one of the things that kind of happens when you have this type of strategy on a map like Antigua Shipyard is that the pylon at the front is usually too far away to place a cannon in range of the hatch. But with the Forge now finishing, he can put the cannon at low ground expansion. It will still be in range of the hatchery, and then he can make sure that there's not too much of a threat. But it's already very annoying. It messes not only his timings up, but at the same time also the timings of the ZeNEX player. I would expect a cancel though.
I think so too. He's made 2 cannons, and they'll force a cancel. Then he'll cancel his cannon. Will he cannon the natural of the ZeNEX player, though, is a question that I would like to see. He's actually going to block the third as well with a pylon here. So this is getting to be a pretty intense game here. And he keeps selecting this hatchery, which leads me to believe he's going to cancel it.
If he doesn't, then he will try... Okay, he doesn't... He should not be able to get the queen out, but he will have 3 lava. With the lava, he builds Zerglings, tries to run in the main base. And with the 2 cannons in position, he should be able to get maybe 3 in there.
Yeah, I think he will. Hatchery will go down. He may lose 2 probes here if he doesn't pull them back. He actually will lose these probes. I can't believe we're not going to get a shot of it. He loses just 1.
Yeah, loses 1, probes it. And he only has 4 lings. I'm not quite sure how many he's able to sneak in here.
I think he'll actually be able to get at least 1. Oh, I don't know about this.
Uh-oh.
I definitely don't know about this. No control.
Both of them with a little bit of a unit control mistake here. First of all, the probe sneaks in and has been killed. Maybe was just trying to bait him into range. But what Life should have done is immediately pull back after he killed the harvest of his opponent. The situation in the game is now 23 probes against 20 drones. Obviously, Crank has to wait a little bit until the creep is completely gone so that he can start with his Nexus. At the same time, his wall-off is a little bit vulnerable because all these cannons are just in range of the Forge. And if you attack with roaches, for example, you can just snipe the buildings.
Yep, I think that's what we may see. He is, however, stopping his gas mining right now. Double gas is going up for Crank. He is supply blocked now, in fact. After losing that pylon that was blocking the third, he's going to have to make double pylons now to kind of free that up.
This is very, very annoying for him because he won't be able to get additional probes in the game. So suddenly he's, economy-wise, kind of blocked on 27. And this will give Life a chance to just increase his drone count once again and take the Harvester lead.
Yeah, this is a position that is so awkward for a Protoss because... now the Zerg is going to have Zergling speed before the core is even done, so he won't be able to do any 4 gateways, zealot pressure, or anything like that. Pylons will be spotted and killed so easily by speed Zerglings on the map. They're going to be running around everywhere. He does have 1 probe out on the map at the 3 o'clock position, just kind of over there hiding. But he may be able to pull something off. It's just going to be so tough. No +1 yet coming out for Crank. He doesn't have the gas. He is starting Warp Gate research. And the question is, what is he going to try to do here? Like, what sort of follow-up will he try to go for? That Forge is actually not even in range of the cannons. He's starting to lose a lot of hit points there.
The Stalker is able to defend it, though, to make sure that he doesn't die. Would be too funny if the Forge actually dies to 1 Zergling. But the thing is that right now, Crank is probably really uncomfortable. If you start to go for a 2-base attack against Zerg, it's always going to be a timing attack where you have a small window of opportunity and then try to kill your opponent. But I'm not quite sure how often Crank was actually faced with a strategy like this. Obviously, they have Yu-Gi-Oh! In their team, who really loves these kind of builds, so he might have a bit of experience if they train together, but he might just not know, okay, when do I actually attack? Can I just execute my build, or have to do something else because my opponent will be already ready for it, or how is this going to work?
Yeah, you're right. I mean, he has some experiences. He has to. Fast layer coming down, not as fast as it could be, but a pretty quick one at 8:15. And his opponent is going for Robotech. I think we're going to see a Warp Prism timing attack. He has no way of putting any pressure on his opponent otherwise because he does not have that probe. It was killed in the middle of the map. He did verify there was a third hatchery, but otherwise he's kind of behind. He's in the dark. I think we're just going to see him make a ton of sentries here and then go for that Immortal timing attack.
We could also see, as you just said, a timing attack with the Warp Prism. We've seen
that's what I mean.
We've seen it in the past. If you are in a position where you can drop the sentries on the high ground, maybe even back them up with Blink Stalkers, which I don't expect here, but as soon as you block this ramp, then suddenly the game...
You can do anything.
Exactly. The game will probably end in your favor. We've seen it done by Ace in the recent past, and I'm really curious if this is exactly what Crank is now moving forward to do.
He is adding 5 gateways. He's got +1 done. He may decide to just go with a big attack with the Observer and not make Immortals, but that would just be strange. Everything, all the timings for his gateways, his weapons upgrades are all a little bit weird. Yeah, I think he's going to do the 1/1 Immortal timing. With Warp Prism, it's got to be. He's getting +1 armor right away here. We're about to find out what sentries, or how many sentries he's going to make from those gates he just added. His opponent is getting a Spire, actually, with +1 for his Roach. Is really interesting to get that Spire as well as the Roach upgrade.
There's the first Immortal, the sentries as well so far. There's going to be no Warp Prism. He's not trying to use the high and low ground advantage and block the ramp. He's going for a straight up attack. And with the creep spread that Life is currently using, I think he will be able to get a bit of an advantage as soon as the Protoss player moves out here. It's going to be... What I kind of... thing is a little bit curious is that we have the Spire, as you pointed out, instead of the Infestation Pit, which is just so common in order to block an attack like this.
And with a Spire, will he be able to hold this? That's a lot of gas. If he tries to make just a few mutas and his Roach count is less because of it, he may die. If he makes a lot of mutas, he may be able to slow the attack down or force his opponent to turn around.
Kill the sentries. Yeah, just try to kill the sentries, take them out.
Straight up. So... I mean, if his Stalker count is low initially, he may be able to just kill the sentries like you said. This is going to be really strange. Both of them are going to be on 1/1 as well when this attack commences.
We have also the Twilight Council. He can follow it up with a Blink upgrade, but as he's taking a third at this point,
yeah, he's just not going to do it. Which is, I think, the smarter choice.
On Ohana, you can take the third, and Life is preparing a small army here. I really... I don't think he's going to commit. It's actually just a little bit too tough. Given how many units the Slayers player has, Crank is in a position with a really strong army. But this will allow Life to take a fourth, and he's doing it immediately.
He just wants to put the Protoss on the defensive, wants to make sure he can spot that potential attack that's coming. And as a result, now he's making a lot of Zerglings, so he can make sure he holds the space no matter what. He has control of the Watchtower right now. Observer will spot this army. He's going to use a second one to kind of spot the positioning. He sees the mutas for the first time now coming into his main base. He does not have any cannons in place. He's got Blink on the way, but he has no defense for this. In fact, his units are out of position as well. He's going to lose a lot of probes.
We already have Blink, though. It's on its way, but it's not ready just yet. And here come the Mutalisks trying to do some damage, and they pick off a few of these Harvesters.
Yeah,
13 in total have been killed. We had a few initially. The Zerglings, but still.
+1 flyer attacks is actually almost done with +1 melee for these Zerglings coming out. He's even getting +2 for the Roaches. The Roaches are going to be quite upgraded, you know. From here, this Mutalisk play is not going to be committed to too much, I think. I think he's going to stick with about... this click here. This is not the right... Oh, well. This is why he was doing that, because he was much more focused over here. He's going to keep the Stalkers in the main while he attacks over at this location, baiting out a lot of force fields, but the Zerglings do get into the sentries.
And most of the Mutalisks are already dead, but he has a second wave that's coming in right now, trying to target down a few Harvesters, and suddenly Crank is hard-pressed as the Roaches move in at the third, and the main base is attacked by the Mutalisks. Drone kills, probe kills so far, 26.
But and he's not stopping yet. Yep, he has taken the last of these probes out at the third base. And this puts the worker count 72 to 42, a 30 worker deficit. He has a 4th hatchery up here as well as he even has the macro hatch in the main.
Life is on fire.
And he is not done yet with a ton of Zerglings streaming across the map. The force fields are gone. There are only 2 sentries out. If his Stalkers are out of position, which in fact they are right now, he could potentially lose so much here.
He's moving in again and opts for the natural now. There are 2 cannons and the Stalkers. He's moving in and now the Mutalisks are trying to focus on the Immortal here. The Lings are not able to close the distance. Now finally, as the force fields are gone, they are moving in. The Immortal is going to die and he's focusing down probes once more.
Yeah, you know, with those 2 sentries, they made all the difference with those 3 force fields. I mean, that is how powerful it can be, even with just a few sentries. And I feel that attack was very cost inefficient. He didn't even get that 1 Immortal. It was like, it was almost really good, but now the Slayer's Slayer's Crank is going to be feeling decent at this point, knowing, okay, he can't really harass me anymore. If I can just get my probe count up for a second here and calm down, hold off this next Roach push. This push is going to do almost nothing. With this many Immortals out, he's got the Blink Stalkers here as well.
Going into the main base though, once more with the Mutalisks.
This is the problem.
At the bottom right, guys, we have another attack. He's trying to take down Harvesters. It's being repelled though, but 39 in total have died. As he once again tries to attack the 3rd tier. And all these Lings are finally doing some damage. The Roach is not in the best position, trying to attack a few pylons, but this is brutal.
You know, Crank is just not able to multitask well enough to hold the attacks from both sides.
He can't stabilize.
A few cannons in the main would have been enough to perhaps hold this off, but he didn't want to commit to those. And now he's just losing way too many probes. In total, his probe count now 45 to 72. No drones have been made for Zerg player, but his production is too good. He has the 4th hatch, as I mentioned earlier, but he's using it only for production. He's not even mining from it. Just continue to rally Roaches across the map. And he cannot stabilize. I think you put it the best when you said that, like, yeah, he's holding off these attacks decently, but the next one just comes in. It is wave after wave here. No amount of Blink Stalker Micro is going to save him here.
He's trying to catch his breath, but he simply can't. It's like his life is going for one attack after another. It's an endless barrage of units streaming in and taking down probes and units alike. Now, suddenly Crank is down to 67 supply and life. He's like a pain train here. He's gaining momentum and he's hitting Crank with full force.
Yeah, he is. He's tearing through these Stalkers. Now the Stalkers trying their best to blink back, trying to hold their 2 photon cannons here. Yeah, he will hold this Roach wave, but the Zergling wave that comes in is just going to be too much. He keeps alternating between Roaches and Zerglings, and it is too much. The last units of Crank now start to fall, and it is 141 supply to 62 life. He's doing it again. He will get his 2nd win today here, and Slayers is on the ropes right now.
This guy is inhuman. He's on a 7 kill streak right now. Yesterday he all killed Team Liquid, and today he finished off Koga and Crank as Crank GG's, and Life takes another point onto the scoreboard for ZeNEX.
Hey, Kaldor, I want to ask you a question. Where is Life right now in the GSL? Is he in Code S? Is he in Code A?
I don't think so.
Imagine that, man. This guy is a big unknown. That is what the GSTL, it's one of the best parts of the GSTL, is seeing these players that aren't in the GSL. Crank as well, you know, he's not been in the GSL really. I mean, he's one of these players that's kind of in the lineup of Slayers. He trains with Slayers. He's one of the people that Code S players for Slayers train with, but Life has taken him out here. Now Slayers with a deficit and score. How can they respond? Will they pull out another Pross? Will they actually put the piece of the puzzle in too soon? I don't know.
What do you mean too soon? Someone has to stop this guy.
Someone's got to stop this guy. He is just like...
He's on fire.
He is going up and up and up.
As I said, if he gains momentum, then he will be able to defeat anyone. They have to bring one of the big guns in here now to stop him. It's just the only solution that they have. If they put out another player that's going to be defeated and then resort to their star players, then it's going to be too late, in my opinion.
Yeah, I think you might be right.
Even if he only takes another win, they will be up 3-1.
This guy This guy does not appear to have a weak matchup. He actually beat Genro yesterday in a weird game with a Mutalisks rush strategy Genro was not prepared for. We didn't get to see him against Terran.
I feel
that's something that
his mind games are just incredible.
Yeah.
The play against Hero that we've seen, then suddenly against TLO, where the entire series, he's focusing on his tech, on his economy, and then he's up against TLO and starts with an early pull. TLO was strong enough to hold this, but still, just how the brain of this guy works is amazing. It's so nice to see that he's just deviating between strategies. It's awesome.
I wonder what Slayers will do. Will they send MMA out here? I might, because MMA is an all-around good player, and the only other Protoss he might have to deal with is Extreme. He knows that, and if they send MMA out here, he may be able to take this guy out because we haven't seen his ZVT really. I mean, how much ZVT experience does he have in the late game? He used a rush, and it is going to be MMA. Oh my god, man. Slayers is so smart here. I love this choice.
Life against MMA. This is going to be the next match.
I'm actually, like, my predictions so far have been, except for...
This might actually be a game that we are going to see next season in Code A. MMA is not in Code S anymore.
Yeah, we may see this. That's actually a really good point.
Yeah, would be funny. I mean, Life and MMA are both in Code A at this point, so it's going to be interesting to see if this is actually just a preview.
It may be. Life really has a lot to prove in Code A. I mean, with how well he's played so far here today in GSTL and yesterday as well, I think most people expect him to go pretty far this season in Code A.
Take a wild guess, guys, what the map is. I don't think it's a big surprise.
No, I don't think so. No one would expect anything different. No, it's not Cloud Kingdom. No, it's not Muspelheim. Is it Whirlwind? Are you crazy? No. It is going to be Antigua Shipyard. We're going to take a 5-minute break. When we get back, we'll see if Slayers can pull it back with this MMA fighter at the GSTL Season 2 for 2012.
Give it all.